All right, are you ready?
Yeah? This episode is brought to you by Carlisle Tattoo Co. Bold, bright and everlasting. You can find us at 178 Carlisle Street, St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Carlisle Studios. My name is Hal Hunter and I'm here again with...
Bella Hunter.
Good.
I wasn't sure if you were going to say it then.
Nah, we did it good that time.
Mine wasn't very energetic.
Yeah? Why not?
I wasn't sure what was happening.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah.
How was your week?
My week was good.
Fill me in.
Ay. Okay. Well, I've got to go through my photos. I just woke up.
You've been awake since 6 a.m. and it's currently 9:05.
Yes, but I fell asleep in the car.
That's not just waking up.
And I was meant to do this in the car, so I didn't. My week was good. We finished the Battle Royale back on Brenton.
Yep.
That was nice. So the last session was just the background pretty much, so like a couple of clouds.
Yep.
And then we did some other stuff on him because he's crazy. Then I tattooed some extra stuff on some hands that I've previously done.
Yes.
I previously did like a death moth and a peony on the hands, and then she wanted to get like letters on the fingers, barbed wire across the knuckles, and
Yep.
so that was a tricky one, trying to fit all of those things into tiny, petite lady hands.
Okay.
Then I've got a lot of videos of the dogs in my camera roll from the weekend.
Yep.
They were being very cute.
Well, you were also solo for a bit of the weekend, so that's always a recipe for Bella taking like a million photos of the dogs or something.
No, they were being so cute. It was very good. So we didn't really do too much solo. We just spent time at the park and had the fire going.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing really. I had a bit of a shit weekend, wasn't feeling very well. You leave me alone and I'd slowly die.
Damn.
And then yesterday I did some tummy tats, which
Yes, you did.
can be a bit tricky, but they were good.
Nice.
Yeah, and now I'm here.
Well, I'm going to bring a bit more energy to the weekly recap than you,
Yeah, you always do.
even though I've given
This
you...
is why the people like
I've
me.
given you 12 hours to get ready for this weekly recap, and that's what you dish out.
Yeah, I've been asleep for most of those 12 hours.
Oh, come on. So on the weekend, pumping surf, Bella.
Yeah.
It was. So I got a message on, when was it? Saturday from a customer who I tattoo, Lockie. He's in like a little surf group with a few other customers and we go surfing a bit.
Surf group.
Yeah.
I think you could come up with a better name.
Crew?
No.
Nah, that sounds bad.
Needs to be like the Shaka Bros or something disgusting.
No. We're not doing that.
Shaka Bra.
And he messaged me, sending me the screenshot of the forecast for Winky and Bells, 8 to 10 foot. And I was like, fuck, I'm keen.
Which is very surprising because he has only surfed in like what, maximum of 4 foot?
No, I think he's left a little bit bigger over in Bali and stuff. But it's over the west coast, so down the surf coast, and we're on the peninsula, which is like the opposite side of around the bay. So I don't go across there very often because I got to get the ferry across. And it's actually really easy to get the ferry. It's only like 45 minutes. But the first ferry doesn't go till 7 a.m. So then to get to like Winky or Bells, it's like you're not getting there till
8:39.
Well, yeah, pretty much. So it's like you miss out on like the early morning. But so I was like, he texted me on Saturday. I was like, cool, I'm going to book an Airbnb down there for Sunday night because we're going to go on Monday. So just got the solo Airbnb, $100, easy as. Got the ferry cost 3 p.m. Sunday. Real easy check-in. I wrote a good review for the lady on the Airbnb.
Did you?
Well,
Even though you couldn't get the TV to work.
I didn't try too hard.
I didn't think you did. I thought you just wanted to complain.
It was a bit weird. I had absolutely nothing to do. So I got Thai delivery, ate that, and then...
You went to bed at like 7.
I was like, I've been playing on my phone because I was on the ferry, just playing on my phone the whole time. Then I got to the Airbnb playing on my phone because I had nothing to do. And then I played on my phone for like another hour, like just, I don't know, watching YouTube or whatever. And then I was like, fuck, I've been playing on my phone for like 4 hours now. I might just go to sleep. It was like, I think I texted you, it was like 7 p.m. I was like,
Yes.
I'm going to sleep.
Yes. It was like only just getting dark enough outside.
I was pretty tired. But anyway, yes. And then Monday morning, get to Winky, pumping 8 to 10 foot, clean. Like, so I was so pumped, so excited. And I'll throw Lockie and their other mate Corey, who I've tattooed as well. I'll throw them under the bus here. So I don't feel bad at all. Because sometimes I feel a bit bad if I'm like, I invite someone to go surfing, Ari or my brother, whatever, and the conditions are a bit too much for their like
ability.
Yeah. Or like their comfort zone or whatever. But Lockie invited me. He was like, it's going to be pumping. So I was like, fuck, I'm keen. So we get to Winky. They're like, oh, it's a bit big, all this. I'm like, fuck, mate, you fucking told me to come here. I've been over here. I got an Airbnb and everything. Like, we're fucking going surfing. So we go down to Winky, down the steps on the rocks, whatever. I paddle out. I get out the back. And like, granted, it was big. Like, it was a bit scary compared to like just normal Winky, whatever, 3-4 foot. And then I turn around and they're walking back up the stairs to the car park. And I was like, fuck. Because
so wait, they managed to get wet?
I think they got there. We were standing in the water like knee deep. And then I jumped in, paddled, duck dived under 2 waves, got out the back.
See, like my mindset of that is if you've managed to get wet at all, you're staying in the water.
Well, I don't know. I think they just talked themselves out of it.
Because like the effort of going there, putting your weddy on, it's cold, it's early.
And it was, but the thing was, and I was saying this, I tattooed their other mate yesterday, Damo, all day. And I was like, fuck, I'm so bummed because they would have been sick to be out there. Good experience. Even if you don't catch any waves, it's just like be out in the big elements, shit like that. Anyway, had a really fun surf, went to another place, surf with them, all this shit. The only thing I was worried about when I was in the water when I saw them walking back up was like, fuck, my car keys are in the back of their car. And I was really worried they were going to leave. And anyway, ultimately they did leave. And I had to call you
off
on some random's phone and get you to call them.
You're very lucky that I answer most random phone calls.
Yeah. Well, I would have just texted you on her phone anyway, but she was nice. So thank you to the lady in the car park who let me borrow her phone. She offered me a towel as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Did you take it?
No.
Good, because that would have been really awkward.
It actually wasn't. I wasn't that cold. I was in my wetsuit. Whatever. It was fine.
Your nose would have just been like dripping like a tap.
Well,
because I know what you look like when you get out of the surf. Bit of a dishevelled mess because you're cold and you're still excited.
I actually felt all right. I just stood there and just watched the surf. I was like, fuck, I hope someone calls me back or like they come back or something. It worked out in the end.
Yeah, well, I had to do the ring around and get him. Well, he actually put your keys in your car and just left it unlocked.
And I didn't realise that. So anyway, it worked out really good.
Silly boy.
I'll move on from the surfing though, for the people who aren't into surfing.
Did you end up getting any messages? Remember last week when I was like, does anyone actually like hull surfing? Did anyone say that they did?
I haven't seen any.
So we've just spent the first 10 minutes of the podcast talking about your surfing and no one even enjoys listening to it.
Well, it's big passion in my life. I was actually thinking this morning. So I put on this, this is in reference to one of the questions that's later on about music. But I was in the car. You were starting to go to sleep. I was like, fuck. What are we going to listen to? We always put like country on and stuff. So I put on this country. I put on like the radio of a song that I have in my liked songs. And it was like, the song's like a bit more of a rocky country song. It's got drums and everything like that.
Where's this going?
But then every song that was on the radio was like acoustic. And I was like, I'm not feeling this. It's pissing me off.
I feel like whenever you go to a song and then to the radio of that song to get a similar vibe, it's always a letdown.
Yeah, so I was bummed.
That's why I don't do it.
Then I went to Jimmy Barnes radio.
Always
same
good.
Shit. And I was like,
but it's at least good stuff.
Have I clicked on something here that's making this all acoustic stuff? But I was driving, so I didn't want to be like on my phone. Anyway, I was then just thinking about like what's music that I don't really listen to but I used to. And then I was thinking Arctic Monkeys. Used to be massive into Arctic Monkeys, when we were younger. And then I was like, but I know what the new fucking shit they're going to put on there is, all this stuff. So then I was like, what's like something that was, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to mention this in podcast, but when I was younger, you used to buy the surf magazines, and they'd come with like a little DVD. It'd be like a 15-minute fucking DVD of clips, you know? And there was this one DVD that came, it was like with Tracks magazine or something, and it was footage of when it was pumping in like Sydney. So like it was pretty close to Sydney. I think it was like Northern Beaches. and it had this one segment on it with this song that was called Killer Instinct. And I remember for fucking years, I tried to find this song on LimeWire, YouTube, everything. I can't remember if the song was called Killer Instinct or the band was called Killer Instinct.
Have you found the song?
I've never found it. And I was searching for it the other week still.
Oh.
Yeah, like I don't.
This is quite interesting that you actually remember the name of it and everything.
No, I seriously.
Do you know what's annoying?
I'll be disappointed if I ever find it because I bet you it would be let down.
If you had that DVD still, you could just Shazam it right now.
I've searched for the DVD. I used to have them all in a case.
Yeah, your mum tossed all that shit out.
And
you told her to toss it all out.
So if anyone knows of this song that was on like a little Aussie surf magazine DVD.
Do you know how it goes? Can you sing us a jingle?
No, I can't. I actually can't remember. I just remember I was like, I've been looking for it for fucking 20 years. So
that's a long time.
I know. But then it made me think, this is how I think all the time. Did you ever watch that TV show that was like, say, 15-year-old kids and they go and live in like a house and it's like surf coaching and then that's how they get onto the world tour? What was it called?
Oh,
that's it. Blue Water High. Yeah. Thank you, Jack.
We used to talk about it when we were younger. I know,
and it was my dream to be on something like that. And not the TV show, but I think our
favourite character, I could get this wrong. I think her name was Flea or something.
Flea, and then the bad boy was Edge.
Yeah, Edge was a sick cunt. That was a good show.
And this is all in my decision making to listen to music in the car. And then I was like, what was like popular music that they played on that? And they used to play Kiss Chasey all the time and shit like that. So they'd put Kiss Chasey radio on. And I found a new band that I've never heard before, and then now it's in my liked songs.
Well,
so I'm happy with it.
Jack actually made a comment about music to me yesterday. He was like, "Oh, do you remember the So Fresh albums and all of that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
You're talking to the Bella's the number one collector in the world, Jack.
And yesterday, I was like, "Should we put the So Fresh albums on?" And it wasn't the right vibe. Everyone was a bit like just in the zone and whatever with their music. So I think today I'm going to put the So Fresh on.
I don't mind that.
It was sick. You just got to get like the right year and season or whatever it was because some of them are a bit, but yeah.
Okay. I've got a few other things written down. So Cody Hill works next to me.
Yes.
He did the sickest back piece last week.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now on the wall. I had it written in my notes. Drawing. I was thinking what I was going to mention in my weekly recap and I was like,
none of your tats.
He hasn't put any photos or anything up of it yet, so I was...
No, because I think he's waiting until he has more shading done.
Yeah, so I was going to put up a photo and say how good it was the other day, but then I was like, oh, he hasn't, so I don't want to steal his thunder on it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But now you're all getting the thirst trap to go and look at his profile and wait for him to post it. I'm just very impressed. It's a fucking
cool drawing.
It was sick.
Very cool. And
we're not even going to tell you what the subject matter is because we're leaving you on the...
Just one of those things you look over and you're like, fuck, I wish I was Tatt on that.
Yeah.
You know?
And the guy sat so well. Yep. He was here from 11 till 6 or something.
I think he's coming in every Saturday for the next few months. Fuck. Yeah, to get finished. He's down here from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling he might have been the guy messaging one of these questions today.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're wrong because I read that question.
And then, most importantly, Bella, this Friday, which will be the Friday just after this episode's aired.
Yep. Let me give you a date. It will be the 2nd of June.
Friday the 2nd of June. And this episode's coming out on the following Monday.
Yeah, this episode will come out on the 5th.
We have new merch available.
Shop merch.
Available on the Carlisle Tattoo Co. website.
Yes, we will all link it in our Instagram bio and it will be in everyone's shop stories who works here. 2
T-shirts, 1 crew neck sweater and 1 hoodie.
Sweater.
Yep.
A sweater vest.
1 design drawn by Tegwin Thomas and 1 design drawn by Mickey McLeod.
Yep, who have both had episodes on the podcast, which if you haven't listened to, you should go listen to. Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting guys.
Yeah. And then...
And Hal and I are both wearing one of the jumpers each right now.
Which you can't see. But I'll skip over the rest of the shit that was in my fucking weekly recap. But... yeah, I feel like I rambled on a little bit in that one.
Yeah. I think that was your longest one, but hey, it's all interesting.
Well, getting on to the music thing, Bella.
Yes, Hal.
Favourite bands / artists and who do you listen to in the shop?
Oh my God.
We've done the personal one before, what's on your personal Spotify and stuff.
Yes, I know, but I'm musically inept, so I can't think of like...
Well, I would say the number one playlist that gets played in the shop is Aussie rock classics.
Yes. Or like pub Aussie pub classics.
Yeah. So that
Stuff
we're
like that.
talking
Barnsey.
Barnsey, Cold Chisel, Hoodoo Gurus. There's a little bit of Midnight Oil in there.
Yeah.
Paul Kelly's in there. They always put fucking Land Down Under.
Always.
From Men at Work.
That is so overplayed in
There's
this
a bit
shop,
of Ice
like, whatever.
House, Great Southern Land. They put Horses, Daryl Braithwaite's always in there.
Yeah.
I think that's actually the first song on the playlist.
Yeah. Usually. Well, there's a few that we mix between in like
Yeah.
the pub Aussie classics. So.
They get a little bit more modern with the Powderfinger and stuff, but that's definitely the era of like Aussie classics that
Yeah, it's
we
very like
like.
2000s
Yeah.
Aussie
Is it 2000s? I think it's a bit before that.
90s?
90s.
Some of them are 90s maybe.
Yeah. And we pump a bit of AC/DC,
Bit of Akadaka.
depending on the clientele.
Oh, no, it's not the clientele. It's more our moods.
Nah, Davo was asking for it the other week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Once we'd been listening to it for like 3 hours, I was like, I need a fucking break.
Then to break it down, so it's like there's like a bit of hardcore that gets in there for sure.
Every now and then I'll put on like Avril Lavigne radio.
Oh God. No, but the more common
It's
ones
good
is like
hell.
it's either Aussie rock, hardcore, so like Madball, Have Heart, that sort of
Yeah.
ilk.
Sometimes a bit of pop punk.
And then Jack's always putting on like fucking hip hop.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Hal and I.
What would you
the
call it,
second-
Jack?
The second it turns on, Hal and I are like, what's this shit?
Biggie Smalls, fucking
Nah.
Tupac.
No, what's like the more
I don't
modern
mind it.
shit? Like the more faster stuff that you put on.
Like, no, I think that's more the British like drill rap stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, I'm not into the British rap.
It like makes me a bit agitated.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jack's not looking at us anymore.
He's rolling his eyes at us
Yeah,
now.
we're like the fucking parents trying to describe like what the cool young kids are into. Yeah.
Yeah, my son's really cool. He listens
Yeah.
to like trap music.
Yeah, it's like rap music. No, we're gonna stop that. It's bad. Anyway, so they're like the three main genres: hardcore, Aussie rock, hip hop.
Yeah.
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 Pretty much every day that just gets thrown through. We came in this morning. Jack had Dire Straits on.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And I, the first words
Yeah.
I said was classic song.
Yeah, Sultans of Swing.
Yep.
I love this. I actually want to get Jack to jump in and answer this as well. So listen to this, Jack. What's the biggest animal you could take in hand-to-hand combat? Mine's a giraffe. That's what he wrote.
Yeah, that's from Trotter Toby.
And
So Trotter Toby, I'm going to say you could not take on a fucking giraffe.
well, just to break it down, in order to beat a giraffe, I don't think you'd get anywhere near its head. And I don't think you'd have enough power or anything.
You wouldn't even be near its kneecaps.
Yeah, so it's like, how are you going to do anything to it?
Your hand might be able to like tickle its toe.
No, it's like,
It would just kick you.
I don't reckon.
Or spit on you.
What's the animal you could take down?
I need a minute to think about this.
Jack? All right, I had to think about this. So I'm cancelling out any sea animal. Okay? Even though I think physically you could beat some of them,
Why are you taking them out?
how would you catch them? You can't swim. They're better swimmers than you.
Oh, okay. Well, we're thinking about this very technically now then. aren't
100%.
we? Okay, yeah, go. Well, you could take a crab.
I think they'd be harder to catch than you think.
They
but
are
that's
hard
not,
to
That's not a big
catch.
animal.
But people do catch them.
I think, I'm not even going to, this is going to sound terrible.
Go.
I think you could bash a dolphin to death,
Oh
but
my
I
God!
don't think you could catch one. I don't think you could
How?
get close enough to it or whatever hand to hand.
Stop it. That's disgusting.
I'm getting into the questions.
No, that's terrible.
Oh, but any other animal's fine. Fuck.
Well, I don't want to bash anyone to
It says,
death.
what could you beat in hand-to-hand combat?
Stop it.
You reckon you just couldn't?
No.
Jack
if you
said a
turn-
shark.
If you turn a shark upside down, the thing can't do anything. So I reckon if it's coming at you,
I think that's a myth. Has that ever been tested?
No, I saw it on some Shark Week show. No, but I think you're getting away from, that's like, oh, how can you outsmart it? It's like hand-to-hand combat.
what animal?
I wanted to throw this one there because it's a hard one. The biggest animal, it says, not any animal.
I would try my luck at a kangaroo, to be honest.
Oh my God.
Really?
I know that thing will kick the fuck out of you, but I don't know.
I actually
Give it a
think
go.
I think they have a very high percentage of beating humans.
I've seen some videos, but I did see the video of the bloke smacking it to protect his dog. So
Yeah, I did see that
I
as
don't
well.
know, maybe you got a chance. But
Okay, kangaroos are pretty big as well.
yeah, I'm just trying to think like a bear. No fucking way.
Nah, no bears. Fuck, this is a hard one. I'm definitely saying he's not taking a giraffe.
The giraffe's just kicking you. If that can kick a lion, it can kick you.
I don't think. It's so hard. I don't think any monkeys or anything you couldn't beat.
Nah, monkeys will rip your face off.
Any bear sort of thing. Any dog, no.
Oh, you could beat a cow.
You reckon?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. They're cute, but
I actually reckon that would that would probably be the one because they don't have hands or anything, so they can't like bash you.
what about like an ostrich?
No,
Really fast.
They will peck you.
I'm just gonna say I don't think there would be many big animals that I could beat.
No, not really.
No.
If it really came down to it, you cornered it. Probably going to be them.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu. That's why you train in jiu-jitsu in case you've got to bash a kangaroo.
Yeah, rear naked choke a bear.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many animals in general that you could outsmart because they're so quick.
I think you can outsmart them. I just think you can catch them. Or
But I'm very slow.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to have a think about this and come back.
Like when I was younger, I looked after friends' guinea pigs and I couldn't even catch that. It ran under the deck.
You could beat that in hand-to-hand combat.
No, they're so
No,
fast.
you definitely could. Because you got to think, in hand-to-hand combat, it's trying to fight you as well. So it's not running away.
I think if it were like the right scenario, like they're trying to attack my dog,
Okay.
then like my fight or flight kicks in and I'm
so you're running away.
I'm killing you. But unless that were the case, I would be like, oh, what do you do?
Yeah, okay. This one's directed at you, Bella.
Oh.
Is Bella worried about what her tummy tattoos will look like when her stomach grows?
Oh, I haven't really thought about it. Seems like this
gonna
person might be a bit
assume that
worried.
person knows that you're pregnant and they're not just
Got ya. They're not just
it's
thinking that I'm
assuming you're gonna
blowing
get really
out.
fat.
Yeah. No, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest, because I don't really have control over it. So what's the point in getting tied up in what it'll look like? Because I figure most people's stomachs after pregnancy look like shit.
I'm not saying it. I'm not making any comments on that.
Like I've seen plenty of women who have had kids and their stomach looks fine, but I think a lot of that comes down to genetics.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not really worried about what the tat will look like because I don't really get my tummy out that often.
And
Not many
I
people
guess
see
it just
it.
is what it is, eh?
Yeah, you just sort of, whatever.
You rub the oil on it so that it doesn't get fucked up.
I think you rub the oil on it so it doesn't get like stretch marks and stuff,
Yep.
which I've been doing, but I keep forgetting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It is what it is.
You do it. Okay.
I don't really care.
That answered the question. No, you're not.
I think the way I've been showing up to work and dressing myself has sort of given away that I've lost all faith in my looks and
you just dress in
could be.
exactly how you used to dress.
yeah, I'm a bit more dishevelled.
Nothing's changed. This is to bring this podcast back from whatever the fuck we've been talking about into some tat related stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because I feel like we've just descended into like, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
Hey, we never gave this podcast any direction. We just said it'll be what it'll be.
But you know what's funny? The thing that we got the most messages about recently was doing those fast questions at the end.
Yeah, that was my idea.
And none of them were tat related.
I'm so happy that I did one thing that worked.
This is from co-worker Mitch. Mitch Pleasance works at Vinteak.
I was really like, who the fuck is co-worker Mitch?
No, Mitch Pleasance. He works
Okay.
at Vinteak.
Yes.
He goes, talk us through your machine setups and go-to machines and just other ones you think are sick. Let's not go too deep into the tat stuff because a lot of people on here don't tattoo, obviously.
Yes.
So pretty much the machines that I use daily, I've got them right here.
I love how you have to pick them up. You know exactly what they are.
No, but I want to look at them and then stuff. Just hold them in my hands.
Just cherish them.
So the shader I do for all the shading and the solid color and everything like that is the Midtown X Carlisle Tattoo Co.
Collab?
shader. Yep. So it's with a Supreme frame, which is the style of the I guess
Like
you would
the
say
body.
the machine. Technically, that's the frame, but just so everyone knows, it's like what the actual machine shape is. That's the Supreme style. Yeah, it's a coil machine, which is like a traditional style tattoo machine. I really love it. It's got like we got them painted in this sort of, that stuff that it's like tough bed or whatever, you spray it in the back of your ute.
Yeah.
And it's like paint, but it's got sort of like sandpaper
Yeah,
style.
it's kind of like a speckly rough.
Yeah, so it's sort of that style paint, just like a black bit sandpaper.
We just wanted it to last and be durable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of machines, if you spray them with alcohol or whatever, they rust and look a bit crap after a while.
So yeah, we got the durable paint on there, which I really like. And then I've added on, we got only a few of these when we bought all the machines.
Yeah,
to
we
sell.
nabbed one early.
The little contact screw at the top.
With the dice.
With the dice on top of it. So it's got, a little dice on top, which I like. Doesn't actually do anything to make it work better or anything. It's
I would say it's actually easier to adjust when you need to. So
it definitely is,
it is very beneficial.
And then the liner I've been using for all the outlines for a little while now.
It's mine, isn't it?
About a year or so, I reckon. Is before we did the Carlisle collabs with Midtown Machine Co., I've been using Midtowns since 2015, and you've been using it pretty much since you started.
Yeah, which is nearly like 4-ish years.
So, we had a few different iterations of machines and stuff like that. So this is one before we got the Carlisle ones that you got made, actually. It's got your initials engraved into it.
Oh, cute.
Same thing, black machine, pretty basic, not very flashy or anything.
I just wanted a really simple, light enough weight frame that I could use for every day.
A lot of people would say this is heavy, but...
Yes, but light compared to other frames that I've used.
And you didn't really like how it works. You weren't loving it. And then I started using it and I was like, I love this thing. So I've just kept using it.
Yeah. I actually the other week wanted to say to you, can I have it back, please?
No, you can't.
But yeah, I didn't ask because I knew you'd say no.
Nah, because I've been using it for every tart. So I've got this thing dialed in.
Yeah, well, I want it.
No.
It's mine. It has my initials.
So what? You've got lots of machines with my initials on them.
No, I don't.
Well, you're using one of my machines right now, aren't
Yeah, but no, none with your
you?
initials.
Exactly. And I came over
That's
the
a
other day
custom.
and said, how do you like that machine? You're like, I love it.
Yeah, every single time I use that machine,
Don't
I
complain.
love it.
I bet you'll use this and then it'll fuck me up. I have to try and learn how to use a new machine, get used to it, all this, and you won't even like this.
Yeah, probably. That's usually what happens.
And
then
they're my...
I use the liner of that Midtown Carlisle collab because we did it in sets. So I either use the liner for that one, and then at the moment I'm using the Chad Coplinger, however you say his name. I'm also using his liner, and I mix it up between those two. And then for shading, I use Shag the One, which is one of Hal's old machines. I also have a Shag, but yours is a bit newer and just runs a bit better.
So the Shag build is like a different style machine to what we typically use, so it doesn't make much noise or anything.
Yeah.
So it's a rotary, not a coil.
Yeah.
For all those tat heads out there who know that.
Yeah.
But
and sometimes I will use the Carlisle shader, but
Yep.
I prefer to use the Shag. I think it works really well for what I want.
Yeah, a lot of it's personal preference. So pretty much my machine box is just made up of pretty much all Midtown machines, and then I've got that set of Chad Coplinger machines, all chrome ones that I got off him a few years ago that I have in there. I'll use them occasionally. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool machines out there. I just always think it's like I'd love to get machines from like tattooers that I think are cool. So the Chad machines I always think are cool. The Burt Crack machines, like really popular and stuff like that. Not that I'm necessarily looking to like...
Have you had a Burt Crack
Yeah,
machine?
I had a Burt Crack liner.
Yeah, you sold it, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's when I was back searching. I was like, oh, do I want my machines to feel differently? And I was just testing out different machines and stuff.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't really want to sort of...
You don't differ from what you
No,
like.
I'm happy with what I'm using. So it's more like I'd buy machines just to have them and
Collect
fucking hang them on the
them
wall or
also.
some shit.
Yeah.
I had a set of Guy Lee machines, which were cool. I wouldn't mind getting a set of Chris Machetto machines.
Yeah.
He does like amazing tattoos and
It's very good
his
that
machines look cool.
whatever machines you or I buy, we just share, so...
Yeah, or like I buy them and you just use them.
Or, excuse me, what's the one that you line with for the last year, mate?
Yes, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you're fucking welcome.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty basic.
Yeah. We do have backup machines.
Nothing crazy. It's not like...
in case we, like, drop it
Yeah,
and it
I've
smashes to pieces.
got 5 different versions of the same machine. So
Yeah, but we pretty much just use the same things every day.
yep.
All right, next question. This is 2 questions from the same person. So it said, knee tat, can you do anything to prevent it falling out? Part 2 of that question is, if you surf and do Muay Thai, i.e. kneeing the bag, is this likely to fast track fading?
I'm going to assume the second part's directed at me because you don't surf or do Muay Thai. And I wouldn't say that I do Muay Thai either. Charles does.
Thanks for singling me out.
Do you do Muay Thai?
I have done it,
No,
but then I...
no, you haven't.
No, that's a lie. I was doing jiu-jitsu.
No, you have not.
But then I got pregnant.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think doing those things makes them fade more. I think it has to do with
Well, your lifestyle.
just the skin on your knees.
Yeah, that's what I was going to follow up with and say, like, if you're a tradie and you're on your knees all day.
That's like impacts, but it's just had to do with the skin. Some people have
Yes.
really callous. Typically, you're talking about the skin at the bottom of your knee. So when you kneel on the ground, the skin that's touching the ground.
Yeah, the bit that like goes all hard and crusty
Yeah.
if you don't moisturize.
So it just gets calloused and stuff like that. So depending on how calloused or tough that skin is will depend on how well that ink stays in your skin when you get the knee tattoo. And then that's really the main thing. So once it's healed, it's healed. Like the ink is in the skin. If you continue, unless like if you fall over and graze all the skin off your knee, obviously that's going to affect the tattoo. It's going to make it, depending on how much ink gets removed, that will then determine like whether it's lighter or darker when it's heals again.
If you hurt yourself and a skin chunk comes out, well, that's where the ink is being held. So that's obviously not going to stay.
Yeah. So, but no, like surfing, knee and bag, stuff like that. It's like you'd have to be removing skin.
Yes, and many layers of it.
At a substantial level for it to lighten up after it's healed.
Yeah.
If you're doing it whilst it's healing, then potentially, yes, you could remove ink that hasn't actually like secured under the skin or anything whilst it's healing.
Yeah.
But typically when you see people say get knee tattoos and there's sections that lighten up underneath the kneecap, that's to do with during the application process, the ink either wasn't put in correctly or that wasn't able to be put in correctly because of the skin.
Yeah.
And that's something that when you get the tattoo, like your tattoo artist will often say, it's like, hey, you can see here that this skin is like quite thick, quite calloused. And I've done some knee tattoos on people who do lay carpet and shit. They're on their knees all day. And it was actually like borderline impossible to get it through like half a centimetre's worth of fucking
I had one a few weeks
skin.
ago that I had to do the one line of a web on a knee 4 times for it to even be like slightly in the skin. And I was like, look, this is going to drop out.
Well, and it's like typically
I said it prior to starting the tattoo as well.
Down to like what you do with your knees. So if you're a tradie, like Bella said, and you're on your knees a lot, you obviously get more callous.
Yeah.
You find it way more common in guys than girls, just based on the way they treat their bodies, I guess.
Yeah.
And what they do for work a lot
But like
of the
you
time.
can prevent the dropout of the tattoos if you wear knee pads and stuff at work. And
Even then though, it's like I don't work on my knees at all, but I would have tough skin under there.
Yeah,
compared to you, for example.
yeah.
Just from like you see a lot of guys play footy when they're younger and stuff. And you
Yes.
fall on your knees all the time and then you just get like tougher skin there.
Yeah.
So how do you prevent it falling out? Don't do anything that's going to make your knees get tough skin on them.
Yeah. Don't get calloused knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, lifestyle stuff pretty much.
Pretty much.
But once you have the callous skin, it's very hard to get it back to just like very soft and normal skin.
yeah. So it's more stuff that you're doing in early life that you're not even thinking about a tattoo.
I would say don't even worry about it. It just is what it is. You come in,
Your body is how it is.
it'll stain or it won't stain, and you can always just get it touched up next time.
Yeah. You can touch up like a few times if you want, but it's always going to be that thing.
Yep.
Anyway, back pieces and clients' preparation.
Not really a question, more of a statement that.
Yes. Well, it says, and preparation for full stop. I just ignored that bit to make it sound more like a question.
So is the question, if you're getting a back piece, what's the best preparation for a client?
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're saying, what are your clients' preparations for getting their back tattoos? Mm-hmm. Yep. I would say, please eat breakfast. Bring in a beverage of choice, either water or something a bit sugary like a Coke or juice or something. And if you do sometimes get like a little bit lightheaded or you get hungry quite often, bring in a snack, bag of lollies, banana, whatever. And always let your tattooer know if you need breaks. There is no harm or embarrassment with taking a break during a tattoo because no one wants you passing out.
Okay. Yeah. It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
I just think like eat food, be honest if you feel like shit. Yeah.
What else would you add into
Nothing
it?
wrong. My only thing is if someone's coming in for a back tattoo, just be prepared that it's going to really hurt and take a long time.
Yeah, it takes ages.
That's it. So it's like there's nothing, like people always say like, oh, should I shave my body in the area you're going to tattoo? And it's like, no, it's like
we do that anyway.
If you just roll in and you're mentally prepared for it to be obviously longer tattoo session than a palm size tattoo and hurt more, then that's it really.
Yeah.
The times I've had like the most difficult tattoo sessions doing back pieces has been when the person mentally has not been prepared for it.
Yeah, they walk in and they're like, oh, cool, so this will be fine. And I'm like, this is going to be a shit day if you're in that
not even
headspace.
about like whether it's going to be painful or not. That is obviously a big factor, but it's just like if they're not mentally prepared to lie down and be in pain for a long time, it could be that like they're coming from after work and they're tired and they can't be fucked or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the main thing that I think affects the whole session.
Yeah, but that's the same for any tattoo. Like tattoos hurt to an extent. They're obviously not super painful that you can't get it done.
Back tattoos.
Yes, I get that. But with a back, you need to be prepared to mainly be laying down for most of it. Some people have you sitting up for parts. But you can't really access like your phone. You can't be like playing on your phone and texting because then that makes you move too much. So you're literally just laying there. So maybe bring headphones and put a playlist on or a movie and put your phone on the floor.
All that stuff's external to me. I don't give a fuck what you do while you're getting the tattoo.
How they're asking.
No, I'm just saying the preparation. Just come in, be ready to lie down and get the fucking tattoo.
Yeah, some people need a bit more like positive reinforcement.
You're saying like, oh, you got to have food, you got to do all this. I'm like, I don't care if you eat or not. Well, as long as you're...
I don't want people passing out on me. It's happened before and I did not like it.
No, but that's where I'm like, you've never had anyone pass out getting a back piece.
No, not a back piece, but pass out getting tattooed.
No, I just think it's like you do whatever you need to do to be prepared to get through the whole situation. But the main thing is like just be mentally prepared.
But I think this person is asking about what people do to prepare. So I'm saying what some people do, you silly sausage. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You were just playing around with your machines and not focusing. Put them back on the shelf.
No.
Oh my God. You're a child. What are your favourite background options for sleeves to tie it all together?
Well, I guess the classic ones are for traditional dots and stars, which you don't see too much of doing these days. I think people have moved to more like heavier backgrounds and stuff.
I personally don't like dots and stars.
Oh, cool. I don't have them on my arms, do I? Yeah, okay.
I don't have to like everything you do, sweetheart.
I like them, but I think they need to be dense.
I think you need to have very dense tattoos before you start doing dots and stars as a background.
Not always. What if you have traditional that's like thinner and lighter shade?
If I came to you and said, hey, let's...
No, you're talking about like...
the other tattoos around.
No, you're talking about coverage.
Yes.
As opposed to like density, which is like how dark the tats are essentially.
Yeah, so I would never dot and star my arms as they are because...
No, you could dot and star that.
No, see, I don't like the look of that.
Because it's too much dots and stars.
Yes, there's too much of that going on without there being enough larger tattoos.
You do find that a bit. That's what I was saying. Is the doing dots and stars, it's like you don't want to be filling big spaces with dots and stars.
No way.
Because
I don't want to be filling a 50-cent coin of dots and stars with no tattoos around there.
Yeah, so but that is one option, dots and stars.
Yeah.
You see clouds you can definitely do, yes. That's more of a heavier look.
Yep.
Then I've seen like a few ones that's just like you just shade sort of black in the gaps and stuff, which I don't mind.
I don't mind that one.
Quite like a darker look as well. To do the clouds and stuff, like how Scott does it, you need a lot more space within the tattoos.
Yes.
Because like obviously you have to draw, the clouds have to fit in there, whereas dots and stars are quite small.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dots and stars, if you can have less tattoos on the arm before, and then you can obviously do the clouds, it fills up a lot more area.
Yes.
You see that sort of stuff in Japanese and all that all the time. One that is, I wouldn't say it's like super popular at the moment, but it is becoming more prevalent, which I do really like, is sort of like flame and skull backgrounds in between all the tattoos.
I really like that. That's probably my favorite.
So that's sort of like, I guess to give an example is like, just say you have a palm-sized tattoo on your forearm and if, you know, a bunch of other palm-sized tattoos. You'd almost like cloud border all the tattoos and then you put like skulls and flames in the background.
Yes, so that there is some empty space in between the palm-sized tattoos and the cloud line to give it to give more structure to the designs.
And I've seen some really cool ones like that recently.
You got hiccups.
Yeah, hiccups. Recently, so like Benny McDowell did a cool one. Ben Hastings has done a few tattoos of that sort of ilk recently. Yeah, really cool. So that's sort of...
It's all personal style and it depends on how much space you have.
And again, what you want the tattoo to look like.
Yeah.
Whether you want it to be like a definitive like patchwork sleeve, or do you want it to almost look like a complete sleeve that's one design, but you've actually done it over, say, 20 different designs.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm leaning more personal aesthetic at the moment to like the heavier stuff, very dense.
Same.
But, you know, that's 100% up to the client, what they want.
Yeah.
So I put this in here, it's a little bit confusing to read because there's 4 things in here.
Yes.
Continuations. So this is the guy that thought they'd got the Cody back piece, but he got tattooed on Saturday. This guy says he's coming on Thursday.
Yes.
This was a few weeks ago though, so I was like, anyway, I'm confusing myself here. It says, hi, Hal and Bella. I'm coming in next Thursday to start my back piece. How do you feel about, taking painkillers like endone before the session? He's then asked another question, which I'm not going to answer because it would be a crazy story to tell on here, but we've never discussed it with the client as a sort of joking thing. So I don't want to be like making fun of him on here. You know what I mean?
You should have just ignored it and not said anything.
No, I know, but I just want him to know that it's like I've seen the question, stuff like that.
Right,
yeah?
okay.
And I do agree. It would be funny to talk about.
It's just a funny story about a previous customer.
So
but without their consent, it's not funny to talk about.
Exactly. So I guess this is a continuation of the back piece preparation. Mm-hmm. So how do we feel about people taking painkillers and endone and stuff before the session? We have spoken about this previously because I had a customer who was I ended up having to send home essentially like halfway through a session.
Smashed too many vowels.
Because he was like actually...
Was it Valium? I think it was.
No, that was Xanax.
Oh.
He was like
Same thing.
incoherent.
Oh, it was
so with all
bad.
the sort of like medication and stuff like that, it's like do whatever you want to do, you know, realistically, but you still need to be able to be like functioning.
Yeah.
And whether it's alcohol or medication or whatever, it's like if that's going to make you lie there better or lie still and
relax you more,
all this sort of stuff, it's like if that's what you want to do, go for it. Like I don't care.
Even if like you have Panadol for a placebo effect, if that's what you need, do it. But you need to be alert and coherent. Otherwise, the session will not happen because that is just not ethical.
Well, I don't give a fuck about the ethics.
I do.
No, it's more just like if you can't like correspond with you, then...
If you're acting like you're drunk, then no.
Okay, so you've got a different perspective on it than me.
Why?
Well, you just said it's unethical. I don't care about that. I'm just saying more from a practical sense. So the reason I had to send that guy home was I couldn't get him to answer any questions. And so I was like, I don't actually know if you're into this or you're not into this or you want something different or like anything. Like I couldn't get the answers out of him because he was essentially just off his head.
He didn't even know if his feet were attached to his body.
I know. So that's where I'm at. It's from a practical sense. So it's like as long as I'm able to correspond with you and stuff like that, then that's fine. If you then lie down and essentially just fucking go to sleep for 5 hours while I tattoo you back, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
That's actually a good thing.
I would love if you laid down and went to sleep.
Yeah, so it's like whatever. Yeah, I don't have an issue with it as long as like it's not going to actually fuck you up, and then I can't like say, "Hey man, how you going?" or whatever, and I think you're dead or something. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Same with the alcohol. The alcohol's like not going to make you like that I can't correspond with you. It's more like if you get pissed, then it's more, you just become like really annoying. And I've tattooed people who've like been drunk, like gotten drunk whilst I'm doing the tattoo.
Yeah, it's not fun.
And it's good on the pain sense because they don't feel it. But then at some point, it's like you can't control them. So like you keep saying, "Oh man, can you sit still?" And then it's like someone is walking past and they're like turning around while you're doing the fucking tattoo on them. And
you've
stuff.
almost got like the sillies from drinking, and you're like
Exactly.
up and about, and you want to be doing things, and you're still getting tattooed.
And I actually think that's why historically shops have not tattooed people who are drunk.
Yes, I do too.
I think everyone's always thought that it's like, oh, legally we can't tattoo you because you're drunk and all this sort of shit.
No, it's because it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, I think it's more about an annoyance factor.
It's like trying to tattoo a worm.
And difficulty as well.
Yeah. And also imagine trying to get someone to pay you when they're off their face and they're like, I don't know where my cash is. That might happen. You never know.
Yeah, okay.
Never know.
This is a recent one because we actually got through these really quickly. I put like heaps of questions in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done a longer like weekly recap. Then we should like.
Yours was pretty long. Mine was pretty short.
No, you definitely should have done a longer one.
My weeks aren't as interesting lately.
This is like a recent one yesterday. You just screenshot it on my phone this morning.
Yes, I did.
They say they like the podcast. Thank you. Really appreciate it, Joel. He goes, my question is, what is the best way to rejuvenate older tattoos that have faded over time and don't look as fresh now? Thanks.
It depends
Have
on
you got an
how shit they look.
I'm going to say if he's messaging me, I'm just going to assume he's in the age bracket below 40.
Yes.
Okay. So then we're not talking about like 80-year-olds you see with tattoos that you can't tell what they are.
Yeah, it just looks like fuzz.
So if the tattoo once did look good, I think...
Once.
Well, when you got it, you know, like in the first year or whatever, it's looking fresh.
Yes.
I think the reason tattoos degenerate over time is just one, partly to do with skin condition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you never go in the sun, you moisturize your skin all the time, whatever, your tattoos are going to stay looking fresher than the person who goes out and gets sunburn every weekend, and their skin as in general starts to sort of degenerate, yeah? Mm-hmm. And the reason over time the lines get thicker, the ink starts to blur a little bit and stuff, like I'm talking about 10, 20 years, is because the skin stops maintaining the ability to retain the ink as well. And you often find that, and like I don't know the exact technical terms of medical stuff, but it's like you often find that it's like as you get older, your skin gets weaker, it gets thinner, stuff like that. And
it's harder to like retain its natural moisture and oil.
Exactly. And that's why you see old people have really dry skin and they get, it's like paper. Their skin's like fucking rice paper or something, you know, super thin.
Rice paper.
No, it is.
It is.
If you ever tattoo someone who's like, you know, quite older.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's very
you like
hard.
wipe them and you feel like they're shedding like a lizard.
I had this fucked as situation when I was younger tattooing where I did this tattoo on this guy and he was like, he really liked it. This was down at Vintique. And this is back when like whenever people would want to get tattooed, I'd accommodate them because I didn't have much on. So I was like, if they want to do like a 7 p.m. tat session, I'll do it. Yeah. Whereas like I wouldn't
7
do that
p.m.
now.
infinity on the inside of the finger.
So no, but this was tattooed him. He loved it. Whatever. He booked in again, and he wanted his mum wanted a tattoo, and his grandma. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Stitch up.
Yep. I guess like just doing whatever tattoos I could do, really.
Yeah.
And I must preface, this was a long time ago. Okay. So I did his tattoo the next time he came in, loved it, blah, blah, blah. They wheel in the grandma. She's 90. And I say wheel in.
I love how you say wheel in.
Well, she was in a wheelchair. No, it's like whatever. It doesn't affect the tattoo. But I'm just saying that to emphasize like she was quite old, 90. And right now, if someone came in...
Most people aren't even alive to make it to 90.
If someone came in right now who was 90 and stuff, I'd say, look, hey, you know, I think the difficulty and like the execution of the tattoo is going to be very, very hard, and the quality of the outcome is not going to be fantastic.
Put it this way though, at 90, you're hoping their eyesight isn't great.
Well, so it was like, so I did the mum's tattoo, and it's like, that was just a good example of like how skin changes over time, you know? So it was almost like in 30-year increments. I'm going to say he was like 30, the mum was 60, and the grandma was 90. Yeah.
Yep.
Vaguely, that's how I thought it was. And I did his tattoo, no dramas. I did her tattoo, the mum, more like substantially more difficult just because the skin is looser, thinner,
Yes.
all that sort of stuff. But in the end, came out fine. She got a little butterfly. And then the grandma's tattoo, she wanted a butterfly on her forearm, which is probably the area that the skin
Would be tighter.
degenerates the most, because your forearms, I think, is the area that gets the most sun exposure.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. And it was one of those situations, and I'm sure like tattooers, if you're listening to this, you would know this, is like, it's like the skin is so delicate that, and you also got to remember, it's like I come up doing traditional. So it's like the machines, and I'm used to using...
They're running hard.
Used to use thick lines. I run machines hard, fast, all that sort of stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm doing this butterfly on this quite old lady. She was really lovely as well. And it was like, so I'm like, I got to go way lighter, okay? Way lighter, because I want the ink to
Feather
stay in.
hand.
I don't want to blow it out. I want it to be delicate, all this sort of shit. I'll go light. I do this first line. Literally 0 ink goes into the skin. And it actually just looked like I just cut her with a knife, because the skin's just like, her skin just splits. I reckon I could have just like
I shouldn't laugh.
got her arm almost like a sausage with the skin around the outside, and
You're
just
holding your head
just like slid her skin down to her wrist and up to her elbow.
like a snake.
It was, yeah, seriously, it was like, it was so delicate. I was just like, and my heart sank. As soon as I looked, I was like, oh my God. It was fucking late at night, dark outside. It was only me in the shop. And I'd only just started tattooing, roughly. And I was like, oh, fucking, what the fuck? So I go to do the line again. The ink goes in. Like, and it was just one of those things. It's like, it was just like, I just was thinking immediately, fuck, I should have just said like, hey, I can't do this or whatever. But I persisted. And I actually thought I was going to cry halfway
So did you
through the
technically
tattoo.
do like scarification on the grandma?
No. It was like, in order to get the ink in, I had to obviously go hard enough that it was like, I put it in deep enough that the ink would go in. But the skin was like, it was almost like I think you have 6 layers of skin normally. This was like, she had half a layer. So it was like, you just couldn't, anyway.
Don't try and tattoo
She had come
grandma
into the
sausage
shop. She
arms.
had come into the shop after as well, and she was fine, and she loved it in the end. And I was just like, hey, you know, the reason it looks not as fresh as your grandson's tattoo is partially because
you have sausage arms.
I didn't say that. It was partially just like, it just comes down to the quality of the skin. You know what I mean? So I actually feel sick thinking about it.
can tell.
Being in that situation where it was like, you can't, like, you would only know this really if you're like, you've learnt to tattoo.
Yeah.
Because that's how you feel with all your first tattoos and stuff like that.
When you said there was no ink in the skin and that you essentially cut her, that vision in my mind made me like gag, because that has happened to me on a few occasions.
And
it is the worst feeling.
I'm sure if she came in now and I was to do the exact same tattoo and all of that, I'd be able to do
she's
it.
probably dead now.
I'd be able to do it better. Yeah. I'm not going to say
You've been tattooing for how many years? 8? 9? 8?
9.
Yeah, so she would be 99 now.
9 in a few months.
Yeah. I love how you looked at your watch then. Yep.
Well, look what
about
month
right.
it is. What month is it? The 5th.
Oh,
May.
you have a watch that tells you the month, of course.
Yeah, hey, I got a comment on this watch the other day.
Well, saying it's super cool.
$99 Nixon rubber. It's a surfing watch. I can wear it in the ocean.
Yeah.
And he comes up and he goes, whoa, that looks like a bloody expensive watch. And I was like,
Who was this person? It's like a plastic nothing thing.
customer in here. And yeah, I was just like, oh, it's just that all black rubber Nixon, whatever, it's $99. And it's actually the best watch I've ever had. And he was like, whoa, I would have thought that would have been thousands. And I just was
silly duffer.
I was just like, I don't know.
That's like just one.
Anyway.
It's one level nicer than like a baby G in my mind. What you're wearing?
Yeah, just like ultra basic.
Yeah.
It's good because I can clean it easy. That's why I got the rubber one.
Well, that's why I stopped wearing my Apple Watch and the nice Gucci watch that you bought me a few years ago was because you end up, when you're tattooing, you get blood on your wrist or like alcohol or whatever and it just ruins the band and it looks yucky.
Well, I used to wear that one with the leather strap and stuff.
Yeah,
but then
the Tag Heuer my daddy gave you.
Yeah, the leather fucking was disintegrating because I was washing it with metho every day.
Yeah, it's gross.
To clean it after the tap.
I just can't wear them because it yuckies me out.
But anyway, back to the question, which we pretty much answered. We haven't even answered how to rejuvenate them. So in order to rejuvenate the tattoo, I think there's two options. You can either...
I really had to think then what was the question.
Yeah.
I was looking into space like, what the fuck?
So if it's just looking a little bit faded or really a bit dusty in a way and stuff, the first thing you can do is just try and rejuvenate your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So moisturize, sun care.
Use like an oil-based moisturizer.
All that sort of shit. And you notice it's like when, like my tattoos, they look a bit faded and stuff, but if I shave all the hair off my arms, they look
way fresher.
Way fresher.
Yeah. I have very, very dry skin. I am essentially I look like a snake.
That's not true at all.
I do. It's really gross.
That's honestly the least true thing ever, Bella.
No, that's...
No.
You should look at Hal. If I dusted myself,
Bella,
it would be like sand on the floor.
No.
Okay,
anyway.
Not if I moisturised every single day, they would look way better.
They just look fresher.
I hate the feeling of moisturiser. Yeah. But... oil-based moisturizer is way better than water-based.
Okay, I don't know these things.
Yep. Because your skin will absorb the oil. Drink more water, get healthier.
Yep.
Because generally your skin gets really dry and yucky from just general dehydration.
Okay. This is informative for me.
Yeah. This is how I tell you to do a bit of skincare, and you're like, whatever. And less sun exposure. Mm-hmm. So if you do like sitting in the sun and tanning, maybe just try wearing SPF instead of tanning oil or coconut oil. Also, no one wants skin cancer, so
fair enough.
Good idea to do that anyway.
Yep.
And then if you've done that and it's still not where you want it looking, go into your tattooer and see what the options are of refreshing it, because sometimes it might need to be relined.
Yeah, you can
Other times you might just need to buzz over some shading and make it a bit darker, because it might just be a little bit more grey.
Yeah, so some of that comes down to
the application of
the
how
application
it was done.
Originally.
Yeah, and what it looked like when it was
finished. If it was you finished it, healed, it was very light or something like that. It's you can always redo them.
Yeah.
You might not redo the whole tattoo, but we do it occasionally here. Is just say you've done heaps of tattoos on someone, they come in and a little section of this tattoo is healed a bit lighter or whatever. It's you just buzz over and it will settle in normally.
Yeah.
We do redo old tattoos and stuff. Someone asked about that as well, about redoing tattoos.
We do quite a few of them, but it always depends on what it is and what you will need to do to it to make it look good and how old the tattoo is. Because if the lines are really blurred out and fuzzy, you might need to make it a bit thicker.
You can, it's that's always just if you're thinking about getting redone or you want it,
Go and have a conversation.
It's not just your skin's dry and all that sort of stuff. It's the tattoo has actually aged. Then it's go to your tattoo artist and ask them what they think the best option is.
Yeah. And if they say, look, it's not worth it,
yeah,
take that on board, because sometimes it isn't and it might look worse.
Oh, definitely. But I'd always think, if you just chuck some fresh black into a tattoo, it's going to look 1,000 times fresher.
Especially if you have newer tattoos around it, and there's just this one that you got when you were 18. I've got a bunch of customers that they got a tattoo when they were 18. They might be around 30 now, and it's just really grey, or it's not the sort of style that they are getting now, and they just want it to be bolder and darker. And you can just do that very quickly when you're getting another tattoo with them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all pretty easy.
And it just makes everything look revamped and similar.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Bella, we've got 1:30 to go. 28 seconds, actually.
Oh.
I know.
Should we sing a song?
No, we shouldn't. Oh. What we're going to do is say about the merch again.
Yep.
If you've forgotten, there will be merch available on the website.
I really hope it all hasn't sold out by Monday when this episode drops.
If this Monday episode comes out on Monday and we've released it on the previous Friday and it has sold out, I hope that. That would be amazing.
Nah, it's going to be a bit of a letdown for people.
No, that's all right, because we've got more stuff coming in the future.
That is true.
But that would be sick. I just want to sell it all, of course.
Obviously.
So I don't, but Yeah, the merch will be available in way more consistent runs and stuff or drops in the future on the website. It'll be in the links on our bios, all this sort of stuff.
Sizes will vary from a small to a 2 or a 3XL.
Yeah, just normal
2
shit.
T-shirts, a crew neck jumper, or as Hal calls it, a sweater, and a hood.
Yes. And yeah, we'll have more items coming in the future and stuff. But yeah, this Friday, which is the previous Friday, once you're hearing this, merch going online. People have been asking for ages. We haven't done anything for over a year.
Yeah, I've been pushing, but Hal and Bobby are very annoying to deal
And now
with.
we've doubled down on it massively, and we've got a lot coming in the
Now
future.
I got what I wanted.
Yeah. But hey, back up to 5 stars.
Are we?
The people have been listening.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. I saw it the other day. I was like, fuck. Good as.
That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, so if you can follow the podcast, if you want to share it to some other people who you might think are interested, if you do have any questions, just always feel free to message them to us on Instagram. And yeah, always rate the podcast. And
I always feel very awkward whenever I respond to people who send questions because they send the question and then I go like, thanks heaps, appreciate it or whatever. And I want them to know that I will answer it. But I think they're just like, you don't like my question.
sometimes I just like them.
Oh, okay.
But
I'll do
then-
that.
Yeah, I just think it's like, and there's heaps that we haven't answered because it's just I can't get through all of them at the one, but we will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't
So,
want you to think I'm being rude, being like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've
we
stopped
will try
reading
to
out
get
the
to them.
names on most of them because some of them, like a lot of them get asked by several different people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just be like picking the one person's if it's the same question.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep listening. Let us know what you think. Hey, Charles is out the back. Just quickly before we end. He's eating his breakfast. One of the questions we asked Jack, come on here, jump on. Yeah.
Oh, Jack already asked
Jack's
you.
been
So
asking
you've had
him.
preparation. I didn't
What's
actually
an
say
animal
one.
you could beat in hand-to-hand combat other than a human being?
But I'm thinking, what's the situation? Do I have the drop on him?
I think it's just like you're fronting up, you're both ready to fight. Which animal, the biggest animal you could beat?
I think I'm going to pick a penguin for me.
I actually don't know.
What? Why is that so funny? A penguin?
Because when I'm thinking about it, even a koala,
Nah, they're
they
vicious.
can fuck you up. Like, they
Yeah.
got claws and they get into your neck, it's game over real quick.
But you got to think about the koala. It's only the height of your knee. So forget about the...
Not if it's coming from a tree.
No. You're
both on the ground.
you're fronting up.
Oh, okay.
So you got to think it's like something small, and this is obviously if you think about it, it'll sound bad on that, but you could kick like a koala away.
Oh my! The graphics of
Yeah,
this make me
koala
feel
for
sick.
sure. What else? Kangaroo's a push.
Jack said a kangaroo, and I'm going to say
strictly Aussie animals.
you're a better fighter than Jack in many senses, but he thinks he can take a fucking kangaroo.
Well, I reckon if me and Jack would probably both take like one kangaroo.
No, it's not fair. You can't have 2-on-1. It's
not?
1-on-1.
That's the streets, brother.
Nah, brother. No go.
That's a hard question.
A wombat. Surely you could take a fucking wombat.
Well, if I can take a koala, wombat's easy. Just
Wombat's
fucking-
easier.
Yeah, just kick that thing out. Soccer kick.
All right. Well, thank you. The guy who asked the question, reckon he could beat a giraffe.
How are you taking a giraffe out? Is what I'm wondering. You have to take out the joints first, like each.
Maybe
knee
he was
you're
thinking that he's going to
popping out.
trip it and then it's on the floor and he just like strangles it.
Those things will trample you so easy.
I know.
Yeah, I don't reckon it's possible. the
I reckon
giraffe.
he's just giving a little toe tickle.
Anyway, good note to end on. Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
This episode is brought to you by Carlisle Tattoo Co. 178 Carlisle Street, St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia.